Welcome to the Easy Bros Fantasy Football Podcast.
Coming at you from the Easy Bros studio in blistering hot Arizona.
Here are your hosts and football fanatics, Edward Green and Zach Rogers.
How goes it, Easy Bros? Welcome to the Easy Bros Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Zach.
And I'm Fast Eddie, your fantasy football gambler, here to take risks for you, to tell you what not to do.
Or what to do.
Either way.
Either way.
I'm going to take the risks for you. I'm the gambler.
Oh, okay.
So stay tuned to the Easy Bros. I'm going to give you the easy way
I
out
feel like
of
we're
a hard
both
situation.
taking a lot of gambles here lately.
Yeah, some more than others.
Yeah.
High risk,
Isn't that the fun
high
of it all?
reward, right?
Isn't that the fun of it all, though?
Hey, you can't win if you don't play.
All right.
Right?
Well,
Isn't that what they say?
that is dang true. That is dang true.
All right. So we had a fun week one. Week two is right around the corner. We have a game coming up. We got some news going on in the NFL. What do you got for us today, Zach?
Now, let's start her off with Godwin. Godwin entered concussion protocol on Wednesday.
Is that good for Mike Evans owners? Possibly. If he's healthy, you know what I mean? How about those O.J. Howard? That's more for them, O.J. Howard owners.
Yeah, I think it helps everybody with the Bucks, besides Tom Brady, because it takes one weapon away from him.
Or Scotty. This could be an opening for Scotty if both of these guys
Yeah,
aren't
we
playing.
all know Tom Brady can turn any guy into a receiver that matters on a team.
Yeah, this is true.
So, I don't think that's even a question.
Even with Tom's 2 interceptions, everybody got the ball. He moved it around.
He could make it back in time. I'm not betting for it. I would have a backup plan if you're a Godwin owner. Let's talk Miles Sanders. He's expected to be back, so if you're a Miles Sanders owner, you're pretty excited.
Yeah, this is good for the Miles Sanders people. The guys that took Boston Scott or the people that either dropped good, valuable players to pick him up when Sanders was deemed not playable for week one.
Probably
you might
not
be
so
kicking
happy.
yourself in the butt right now. Devontae Parker. He sat out. Limited, I think they said today.
Yeah.
I hope they do not play him. I really just want him to sit out a week. I don't see what the rush is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they've got other receivers there that can do the job, and Fitzpatrick doesn't seem to be able to get it to a receiver's hands. So
Yeah, I think he's kind of struggling. He's going through...
whether Devontae Parker's in there or not.
He's kind of got some personal things, and I think it kind of affected him week one. I think that going into week two, I think he's going to come back. Fitzpatrick is a guy that comes back. I know they're going up against a tough Bills defense. I think
all
Parker
I know
should
is
sit
we
out.
watched that game, and on that third interception, he was smiling.
Yeah, because he knew, man. he threw 3, and he knew. He was like, oh,
he
man.
was smiling.
How did I do this? I mean, at that point, they were already so far behind. But
He knows he ain't winning no shit
Frank Gore,
before he retires, so he's just...
this is true. But, hey, he's tuning up Tua. So, tune up for Tua time.
Maybe he's just
gonna
like,
happen.
well, if I stink myself out of the job quicker, I just get to sit on the bench and get paid.
Just help Tua out. String him along the way.
Yep, and I don't have to take the hits.
Yeah, he's right. Frank Gore, though, he did get the nod. They did announce him, and he's the starter. I know we talked about it yesterday. Pick him up if you want to. He's going to get the ball. Adam Gase loves to run it. So Frank Gore is out there. Grab him if you can. Or if you're a Le'Veon Bell owner, stash Frank Gore right now just to have him.
Just in case.
Johnson, man. These Texans guys. David Johnson got 81% of the running calls.
Yeah.
Last week, and Duke Johnson is possibly going to be out. So
Heavy
it's going to go up. It's going to go way up. So those Johnson owners, look out. He is injury prone. I hate to say that about a guy, especially a guy like David Johnson. I love DJ.
I took him on, but that's a lot of what I thought about
Your
before
risk.
taking him
Yeah.
on was the biggest risk of it is injury.
And hey, if he's going to take on a higher workload, that's not going to fare well for them. I don't see why the Texans, knowing that Duke Johnson was kind of stringed up with this injury, didn't go out. Is Alfred Blue still on the roster? Or
No.
they could go maybe try to get a guy like Lamar Miller, somebody that knows what to do. You can plug them in if you need them to.
Yeah, that is kind of surprising to me, too, why they wouldn't try to go see if Lamar Miller wanted to take up a spot.
Well, that's why I even said an Alfred Blue, because you
and
probably don't have to pay him the same kind of money you do Lamar Miller.
you don't even have to pay Lamar Miller money anymore. He's a veteran minimum contract on a 1-year deal.
You're probably right. I'm just
Nobody's
saying in general.
paying him multiple-year contracts ever again.
Yeah.
Not after his injuries, and he's getting up there in age now.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just saying in general, those two guys are out there for a team that has used them in the past, and they can plug them into that Bill O'Brien system.
We got Sutton. He was limited in practice, arrow pointing up.
Yeah, I mean that's good. That's good. They had him practicing.
Still worries me. It's an AC joint.
He still has to catch the ball. Yeah, he's gonna have to move around that shoulder. So hey, keep Judy in your lineup.
If I was a Sutton owner, I'd personally take the approach of, even if he plays this week, sit him, see what he does, how he's affected by that injury while playing. If he plays through it and he shines, I'd rather be the guy that sat him that week and played him the next week than the guy that started him and he hurt himself further on the first play, second play of the game, and then you're 0 points.
Yeah, I believe Hamlin was also limited in practice. If Hamlin is limited in practice, his isn't a shoulder or an arm injury. He could see the field probably before Sutton if they don't think he's a go. So just owners for Sutton, keeping a watch out for that, and he might not be playing again this week.
Brandon Cooks was also limited in practice today, so the arrow's pointing up on him, but I would kind of take the same approach with him as I would Sutton. You haven't seen him play. He's on a brand new team. He's already hurt going into the season. If he does play, I'm going to want to see him play and produce before I put him in my starting lineup.
Let's hope he does, because Watson he was trying to find somebody out there last week, and Fuller can be the only guy because he was being double teamed. You know what I mean?
What confuses me there is they've got Cobb, they've got Stills. Stills was there last year. Stills has been a weapon for them. Why was it so hard for them to handle when Cooks went out when he wasn't even a part of their system last year?
I don't understand.
Tell me that. I don't think that was the problem.
I don't understand how the offense wasn't working. No, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand how the offense was running, and hopefully with Cooks if he comes back.
I don't feel like that line was holding up well enough, especially I'd
They
say
have
the right
Tunsil's
side.
out?
The right side. No, I'd say the right side was the.
Well, because he's out. The right tackle isn't he? Didn't they?
I'm pretty sure Tunsil's left tackle.
I'm sorry, you're right, but their right tackle was out. They had somebody
Yes.
else in there.
I believe so.
So
or it was a rookie, one or the other.
They were blowing him up. J.J. Watt and them were blowing him up. So,
Maybe it was
sorry,
just-
not J.J. Watt, but
I know who you're talking about.
Chris Jones.
Chris
They were
Jones, yes.
they were blowing him up when they were coming across the line, and it didn't look fair. So, I don't know. Maybe it is the offensive line. Maybe that's the issue, and it's not the wide receivers
Or the quarterback.
Yeah, I don't think it's their quarterback. James Conner did not practice again today. Good thing for people that picked up Snell off of the wire, right?
Yeah, if you plan on playing him. Not a good thing if you picked him up and tried to trade him to the guy that needed him.
Once again, we talked about Mike Evans. He was limited in practice. Corey Davis limited in practice also.
I got Doyle. Doyle stat, ankle and knee.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're just resting him because he's their only tight end, but that's something to monitor.
Golden Tate back at practice. This fares well for Giants offense, possibly. Bad for Slayton because, hey, he tore it up by getting most of those targets.
I don't think anything is bad for Slayton.
No?
I think Slayton,
Even
by the end
with
of the
Tate
year,
back, he's still going to have those targets.
by the end of the year and going into next year, Slayton will be the number one wide receiver for the Giants.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Above Sterling, above Tate.
I don't disagree with that at all, but I just think that he's not going to get as many targets if Tate comes back. I think they're going to try to feed him the ball.
I disagree.
I hope.
The only chemistry Daniel Jones has with any of them, playing chemistry.
Yeah, it looked like it was Slayton. Yeah.
No, he
couldn't get
Sterling
Ingram.
Shepard was out all last year because of those concussions he kept getting.
Even he looked like he was
Golden
off
Tate
trying
was
to.
injured.
Saquon,
Golden Tate's
same with
injured
Saquon.
again. But that's what I mean.
He
The
didn't
only person he has consistent
It's a
game
security
time.
blanket. Yeah.
That's his guy. He's going to get his targets.
Yeah, that's iffy for them. That's a tough issue, but I mean, I just think Tate is a target guy, and people do throw the ball to him. We'll see what happens.
Well, he's sitting on most waiver wires, so if you're really that high on him,
Yeah, you
can
can
go
go pick
grab
him
him.
up. Yeah, John Brown missed practice. I don't remember.
a little
Was it-
worrisome. It's his foot.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I don't think he hurt it, or I haven't heard any reports of there being like an ankle sprain or a fracture.
Maybe he just
or
tweaked it a
anything
little
like.
bit, and they're just taking
But they
it
have it
easy.
listed as foot, and
All right.
he's not practicing. Could be, it seems like Wednesday, especially with this pandemic and not having the preseason and all that, it seems like they're giving the veterans a lot of rest on Wednesday.
Yeah, it seems they usually do that throughout
Pretty much
the
if you
season.
have any issues or have had issues in the past, that's your rest day.
Yeah.
So I've got Kenny G, didn't practice again. Not looking good for Kenny G owners. I'd take the same approach if you were to start him as you did Mike Evans.
Is Danny Amendola a stash in a deep 14-16 league?
Yeah.
All right.
He proved last year he can produce.
I had
and
questions.
he's got
People
the
are
same
asking me
role this
questions.
year.
The same thing about, hey, if I have Kenny G, do I go
He
stash
did better than
Amendola?
Marvin Jones last week.
No, he did. That's why I'm asking. And last year he produced pretty well in certain games.
Something I've noticed about Stafford, he loves to throw to the slot.
Yeah.
He only seemed to go to the outside with Calvin Johnson. That was his go-to outside guy. But for much of his career, he's always been a go-to the slot guy.
And when Kenny G's healthy, that's what he does.
You're always
And
talking
he
about the
uses moving
slot
those other
wide
guys
receiver
around.
for Detroit. Do you not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's just like the Patriots or anyone that Tom Brady's throwing to.
Kittle could play, is what they say.
I think it's risky too. Why?
They say he
play
could
him?
not practice all week and then play.
Yeah.
And then on top of that,
Tough sell for me.
when's his
man.
matchup? San Francisco? Are they the Monday night game? No, that's Michael Thomas, isn't it?
Yeah,
the
they're.
Saints.
I think it's the afternoon game though.
Okay,
It is
yeah,
an afternoon game, I believe.
So you might have a couple pivot options if you want to start Kittle. Personally, I'm not starting Kittle if I have him, and I do in one league, and I'm not starting him.
Yeah,
What about you?
I wouldn't start him. I just think if he does play, he's going to be out there to consume defenses to come his way, so they could free up options on the outside, probably for Mostert, or hey, bring Reed in there and feed him off a little bit of something when he gets a double team. That's all I see happening. Really, I don't see him being a factor unless they're tossing it up to him in the red zone. But then again, are you going to risk him trying to get hit, coming down the ball awkwardly? Anything like that, right? I just don't see why you would do that.
And we got the best fantasy player for the Jets. Crowder, limited.
Yeah,
You worried?
same thing. I think it's just precaution. I didn't hear much about it. I really think that they're just... It's the middle of the week, man. Let's take it easy.
All right, let's get into some cornerback wide receiver matchups. We want to talk who has the good matchups this week, who has some bad matchups, who you might want to avoid, who you might want to use and take advantage of. Let's start with two guys on our list, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and possibly three,
Yeah,
CeeDee Lamb.
We're gonna throw CeeDee Lamb in there too.
They're playing a young cornerback corpse in the Falcons that just got destroyed by the Seahawks.
Yeah, Isaiah Oliver and AJ Terrell, very talented guys, but this wide receiver core is more talented, I believe. Dak Prescott is going to come off of that game last week that they didn't play so well in, and I think that he's going to carve this defense up.
Yeah, I've got to agree there. We got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and if Godwin does not play, Scotty Miller.
Yeah, they're playing the Panthers against Dante Jackson and Troy Pride Jr.
The Vegas Raiders tore them up.
Yeah, another thing, man, just young defensive secondary just doesn't look good for the Panthers this week.
Yeah, I think Brady's going to be able to pick them apart very easily with his experience in the league.
Brady never goes back-to-back games with picks, so this is going to be,
Yeah, I think this is his hey, I'm here game this week, week 2.
Brady's still here.
Devontae Adams draws another great matchup. Marcus Valdez-Scantling, Alan Lazard.
Yeah, I think this is Desmond Trufant. Was he a little banged up? I think they're saying he might be a little banged up.
Yeah, but I think he's playing. I think the big thing here is you don't have the rookie. I never pronounce his name right. Akagwe or
Oh, dude, I'm
their
not,
first round pick.
Oh, I'm not sure. Honestly.
Anyways, he is hurt, so
Yeah.
he's not playing. They traded Slay, and now they're left with Desmond Trufant, Amani Arowaye
And Darryl Roberts.
and Darryl Roberts. So 2 of those guys I've never even heard of, and Desmond Trufant is getting up there in age.
I think that this matchup
And Devontae Adams probably, 6'4", 6'5"? I believe Trufant is 5'10".
Devontae Adams is going to get all his targets, I believe, but I think Lazard and Scantling are going to be the ones that profit off of these other guys not really
I don't
having
know,
as
when
much
you're
experience.
throwing wide receivers like Devontae Adams the ball 15 times, you really don't think that above a secondary like this that he can easily produce 150 yards off those 15 targets?
No, I'm saying that he's going to get a lot of targets, but also that these other guys are going to benefit from having this young defense.
We got T.Y. Hilton, Paris Campbell going up against Cameron Dantzler, Holton Hill. Oh my
and
gosh, sorry.
Mike Hughes from the Vikings.
That's terrible.
I really
They
like
were
the
just
matchup for
torched
Hilton.
by
I
the
really like, and another guy that I want to look out for in this game is Zach Pascal or also Michael Pittman Jr. I think that they're probably going to move them into the lineup a little more.
You think it's going to be that big of a shootout to produce for all those receivers?
Yeah, I think that the Vikings,
Along with Doyle, Taylor, Hines.
Doyle sat out. He's a little banged up, and we'll see what happens with him. You know what I mean? But no, I'm just saying that
I think T.Y. Hilton is going to have this is the heyday he's been waiting for
against
and
this defense.
Yeah, it's a rookie corner. He's going to eat
but
like crazy against him.
Oh yeah, this is going to be all these guys. I'm just saying
Devontae
this
Adams
defense
just put
is
up
young.
45 points against this guy.
This defense is young, man. So I just think that you guys as wide receivers, and it all depends on how Phillip Rivers is also going to play.
Yeah, he seemed to be another one of those quarterbacks that like to throw to the other team last week.
How about the Cardinals versus the Redskins?
I'm good with Hopkins. I'm good with. I'm probably only good with Hopkins.
Kendall Fuller is
Kirk
coming
had
back
one-
to this game. I believe that he's going to play. They say he practiced today. Ronald Darby, Jimmy Moreland.
I still think Hopkins is gonna.
Yeah,
destroy
Hopkins
him.
is going to destroy them. I honestly see Fitzgerald. He'll probably get you 12 fantasy points this week, and I'd like to see Christian Kirk get more involved. Chargers, Keenan Allen against Chiefs, Antonio Hamilton. I have Keenan Allen having a monster game because he didn't play very well last week.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be out to prove it. He always has. If he
got
has a
that
bad
contract.
game, he always comes
Yes,
back with
he
a banger.
always does, and he got
But
the big contract.
That's with Phillip Rivers as the quarterback. We don't know if he's going to jump back from this because we've never seen him with Tyrod Taylor at the starting quarterback.
Yeah, I got you on that. So it's a wait and see. I still think this is a great matchup for Keenan Allen.
Emmanuel Sanders draws a great matchup due to Michael Thomas not playing this week.
I think Cooks benefits from this as well.
Yeah.
So
I think all
possibly
the
Taysom
players.
Hill getting an option in here because of Michael Thomas being hurt. You're going to see a couple more guys sprinkled in here.
I would say that the 49ers wide receivers have a decent matchup in the Jets, but at the same time, I would not start any 49ers wide receivers, so I don't want to tell anybody else, hey, take this matchup, take advantage of it, because any of those guys that you're going to start, Ayuk, Bourne, you're taking a real chance. Let's talk about some tough matchups, some guys you might want to avoid in your starting lineup this week due to a bad matchup. We got first guy I want to talk about, the guy going up against Stephon Gilmore.
DJ Metcalf. We're very
No,
high on
his
DJ.
name is DK Metcalf.
DK. I do that every time. I'm sorry. DK Metcalf. I really am high on DK Metcalf this
yeah,
year.
but really this week?
No, not at all.
Do you
That's
think
the thing.
Okay, well here's the thing too. Do you think Gilmore is going to be on Metcalf, or do you think the analysts are wrong and he's going to be on or go back and forth between him and Lockett?
Oh, I believe he'll go back and forth. He usually does that. Against the Dolphins, he was sometimes guarding Preston Williams. It depended on what defensive set they were in. I seen him guarding Gesicki at one point.
And
So
they also have slot corner Jonathan Jones, who was very productive last year,
yeah,
the Patriots. So they could easily throw Jonathan Jones to keep up with the speed of Lockett and then have Gilmore on the size of Metcalf.
yeah, they can easily do that. But either way, like
So then,
I was high on the Dolphins receiving core, and they got shut down.
okay, so you own Metcalf. You starting him this week? Or would you say take a lesser guy like a Emmanuel Sanders or Paris Campbell,
I would go Emmanuel Sanders.
Lazard?
I would go Emmanuel Sanders because I know
Okay.
that he's going to get the one wide receiver looks.
So
And
there are certain matchups you would take advantage over
I don't think
this
that
tough matchup.
I don't think that it's DK Metcalf is going to either have a bad game or I think it's going to go either way. It's either going to be him or Lockett that has a bad game, depending on who's matched up them at the point. Russell Wilson's going to find either one of them the ball, and he's going to find who gets loose, and he will. But you're going to depend on which one of those guys is. And honestly, he's probably going to move around and stay away from Gilmore for the most part. He probably will. So if Gilmore is on Lockett, he's probably going to go over, and they're going to switch that off as well to try to shut that down. Because if they have, Metcalf tearing it up against Jonathan Jones, then they're going to have to move Gilmore over there, and then vice versa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's going to happen. That's how I feel it could happen. So it's a toss-up for me. On a better matchup, I would go you can start both of them. But this one, to me, I would sit either one because it's just a bad matchup.
Marquise Brown going up against Bradley Roby. See, and one thing I want to say before we even talk about what we think is going to happen is Bradley Roby matched up with Tyreek Hill last week.
Yeah, and he kind of got burned up.
I wouldn't say he got burned up. Tyreek Hill is used to producing 20 to 50 points a game on most
had 14?
cornerbacks, and he had 14.
Yeah,
I would consider that a great game against Tyreek Hill.
you're right. Honestly, I thought that I didn't remember that he had 14 until
But then
you said
you've got
something.
the younger
I
Marquise.
thought he had 19 points.
You got the younger Marquise Brown. I wouldn't say that the Ravens are less offensively diversified than the Chiefs, but they are in the sense that the Chiefs have Sammy Watkins, McCole Hardman, Marquise Brown, Willie Snead. Those are probably the only two names you'll recognize on their wide receiver depth chart.
Yeah, and Roby's not guarding Andrews, which would probably be a wise decision.
Yeah, so he's going to be guarding Brown.
Yeah,
I think this is a matchup you stray away from.
yeah, I agree.
In my opinion.
I agree. Even if he's shadowing Fuller, Bradley Roby's pretty good. So I would. You're right. I would stay away from this.
You got Panthers DJ Moore versus Carlton Davis from the Buccaneers.
Yeah, Davis played pretty well last week.
23 years old. He's coming kind of out of nowhere, so he might shadow Moore. But at the same time, there's Anderson. Anderson proved well in week 1. So I'd say if you're that worried about DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson is still out there, go pick him up and start him for this week. He might be open.
Yes, this is true. I think he was available in 56% of leagues. It was.
Well, I think we got another matchup. Let's talk Texans. Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks versus Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters.
Yeah, I don't like this matchup at all.
I feel like isn't it Jimmy Smith still there too?
Yeah, I think he might be hurt at the moment.
Oh, okay. Maybe
But
that's why
either way, if he is there, that's even harder. So I would just stay away from all Texans receivers for this week. Plus, last week was not very good.
Yeah, maybe another, unless you're Will Fuller, stray away. David Johnson, Will Fuller, okay.
Yeah.
To start, Will Fuller flex, David Johnson, low-end running back to flex play.
Yeah. If you're gonna play them at flex, yeah, but I wouldn't put them as one of your receiver running back spots.
We got Terry McLaurin going up against the great Patrick Peterson, looking like it might be a shadow.
I'm staying away from this. I like the way Washington looked in week 1, but the Cardinals.
Yeah,
oh man,
I have Terry McLaurin, and he is on my bench this week because I live in Arizona and I know who Patrick Peterson is.
Hey, they were talking about the Cardinals getting destroyed last week, and it was not of that at all. And I'm fearful for Washington's defense here.
Other matchups that you might want to try and stay away from this week: Bills, Stephon Diggs, John Brown combo, because they're going up against the Dolphins, Byron Jones, Xavier Howard.
Yeah, the only upside to this is that Allen is pretty good, but also Cam Newton only had 155 passing yards.
Yes.
So
That's what I mean.
He also runs, so they locked them down for the most part. So
but I think Josh Allen will do the same as Newton. He'll be able to open it up and keep
Because
them
of the
playing let's say playing smart when it comes to the run and the pass.
Yeah, no, he will. So this is going to be another test for the Dolphins' front seven. Their secondary was pretty good, so we'll see how that holds up.
We've got Jarvis Landry against Bengals' Mackenzie Alexander. Mackenzie Alexander, I believe that is the cornerback from the Vikings that signed with him this last season, correct?
Yes.
And he is pretty good.
I
wouldn't say that Jarvis Landry can't take advantage of this matchup, though. This isn't one of those ones that I would say, oh, you have to avoid it. This is more just be cautious that there is a low floor here, but I still think there's also a ceiling.
Landry was questionable, listed as questionable, so we don't know how that's going to fare. He might not end up playing. You never know.
Cooper Kupp's got a pretty tough matchup. Nicole Robbie Coleman at cornerback for the Eagles. I still think he's playable. I'm playing him. I'm not trying to stay away from him. I have Robbie Anderson on my bench. I have a couple other guys on my bench. I could start above him, but I don't think this is that you have to run away from it matchup either. It's nothing to be concerned about. The Rams only have Higbee, Cook, Woods. They got to throw the ball to someone.
Yeah.
Cook ended the year last year number 4 in wide receiver scoring. He's bound to break out.
Either way, I'm not really straying away from Kupp or Woods. Goff, we know he's throwing the ball, and he's going to give those guys targets. He's already proven that.
Other potential tough matchup, Allen Robinson against Giants' James Bradbury, who came over to the Giants from the Carolina Panthers in the offseason. I think this is another one that Allen Robinson has been in the league for multiple years. He's proven he knows how to get himself open, create space, and catch a football. I don't think this is one that you have to sit him. I just think this is a matchup you have to be prepared for the possibility of a lower floor.
I'm not worried about Allen Robinson at any point in this matchup, to be honest with you.
Dolphins, Parker, Preston Williams against Tre'Davious White.
Yeah, it's a hard pass for me on both these guys. Like I said, I'm really hoping that the Dolphins stay clear of starting Devontae Parker or even playing him at that point. Please let him sit.
Well, let's get into some running back matchups, and let's talk guys that got to the end zone, scored touchdowns, had the most opportunities, guys who had a lot of, and did something with it. We'll talk top 5, maybe
Right.
top 6. We'll give you our sleeper guy. And
this is inside the 5. This is guys that were inside the 5 or how many touches that they had and got inside the 5 and scored on those possessions.
number 1, we got Henry, Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, 34 touches. He had 2 inside the 5. No touchdowns, though. But still, 34 touches. Man.
He is definitely a beast of a back.
It doesn't look like they're slowing down with that either. They're just going Henry, Henry, Henry. It really looked like that they were really kind of slowly moving down the field the whole game.
Yeah, it definitely
Anytime.
wasn't one of his best games.
It was methodically just running
On
slow.
paper, it looks like a good fantasy game, but if you watched the game, it did not look like that great of a game for Henry compared to some of his others. You got Josh Jacobs, who broke out. He's number 2 on this list.
31 touches. 1
Hit me with your best
inside the
stats.
5. 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns. This guy was a monster. Oh, man.
He looked
Do you think he
healthy.
can keep this up?
He looked healthy. The offensive line looked great. I think he can keep it up. I don't think he's going to produce, 3 touchdowns a game, but I could say
The
I could
touches,
see
I
it.
mean. Do you think he keeps up the touches?
Oh, I
about
think
31 a game?
I'd say he's probably averaging about 25 at the end of the year.
I think if these receivers get healthy, it's really going to be an advantage to him.
Yeah.
If you're worried about Henry Ruggs splitting down the field, and then you got to worry
It's
about
going to make the whole offense better.
oh man,
Going to make it, open the field for Ruggs. Going to open the field for Waller.
yeah, Edwards. How about McCaffrey? Everybody knows about the hype about McCaffrey.
He's
had
actually third on this list.
27 touches, 2 inside the 5 with 2 touchdowns. This doesn't surprise me at all.
No.
So
It actually surprised me more that there were 2 people above him in this.
yeah, he makes the most of all his red zone touches. Like I said, 2 in the 5, 2 touchdowns. Fantasy owners of McCaffrey, you're happy. You're always going to be happy.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire made the list, number 4.
27 touches, 6 inside the 5.
Yeah, I'm actually.
my
This is the
goodness.
one where I'm like, how did he not have more touchdowns?
1 touchdown.
1 touchdown, but he had the most attempts in the week by any single player
Yeah.
inside the
But
5.
we watched that game. The Texans' defensive line was playing pretty solid. They really were.
They didn't mind letting him get to the red zone, but once the Chiefs got to the red zone,
hammered down.
seemed to be able to stop him.
Yeah, they did hammer down. So, yeah, it kind of sucks that they couldn't do that the whole time, but that's what happens. Number 5, Ezekiel Elliott had 26 touches, 2 inside the 5 with 2 touchdowns. Not surprised by this.
Yeah,
I
sounds about
expected
Zeke.
them to score way more in this game, and I really thought that he was going to have 3 touchdowns.
Let's hit him with our sleeper guy that everybody was trying to pick up on the waiver today.
Brown from the Rams.
Yeah, surprising, right?
Yeah. Malcolm Brown, right?
Yep.
22 touches. He had 2 inside the red zone.
2 inside the 5.
2 inside the 5, sorry, and he had 2 touchdowns.
So he got inside the 5 twice, and he completed both.
Made the most of it. Is this smell
He
trouble
had
for...
19 carries.
what
He
is
had
it?
something like 19, I believe it was 19 carries, and then 3 passes, right?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
So that's a good workload. And Akers got 14. So it's not like even with Akers getting 14, he still got that. So
They still have they
What
have another guy there, Richardson.
yeah, he's hurt.
Is he hurt
I
right
think
now?
it's Henderson. Or,
Henderson, I'm sorry, yeah. So if he comes back, he's
no,
going to
I,
be in the
thi-
fold.
I think Brown, as long as he stays healthy, he's won his spot.
He's got this.
I think,
Or-
yeah. Because Akers is the next man up. And Akers, I'm pretty sure, started that game.
Yeah, no, he did.
But Malcolm Brown, every time he came in, he was producing. And
it was honestly a good 1-2 punch, bringing them in and out and in and out. And the way Goff was moving, same thing. I expected more points out of this game. They were just kind of slow, the Los Angeles Rams, man.
Naeem Hines was also right off the edge of this list, I believe, 8, 9. Also
Yeah.
another great waiver ad. We talked about that yesterday. And I think if you didn't draft running back strong, these are 2 guys that are definitely would have improved your team to start the year.
How about the guys that touched the ball a lot, but they didn't show anything as far as red zone or touchdowns? Saquon, he had 24 touches. He had 1 inside the 5, 0 touchdowns.
And that is the number 2 pick in most drafts.
Honestly, I don't blame this on him. The Giants at one point,
Like,
they were down there at the 5.
Tell most people right now that Brown would have scored more than Barkley week 1.
No, they wouldn't have believed you. They wouldn't have believed it. Malcolm who? No.
That is great.
They'd be like, he's not even on the depth chart at the top, so I don't
kept
believe
telling
you.
people I would take Zeke over Barkley. I would take Kamara over Barkley. That 15 yards on something like, 9 carries or something like that? That's terrible.
Yeah. I'm
And
high on
that's not the first time he's done that.
Zeke
he
is
did that
good, but
last
that
year.
offensive line is also great, too.
Yeah.
How about Kenyon Drake? Kenyon Drake did score, but when he was I don't believe his touchdown didn't come. Did it came in the red zone in the 5?
No.
Yeah, so then he had 18 touches.
Yeah.
He
no.
could he
Yes, he
coulda-
did have 1 touch. 1 touch inside the 5.
But
1
was that
touchdown.
where his touchdown came from? Was it from that
believe
one,
so.
or was it? I thought it was a like pitch and catch.
I'm not sure.
screenplay.
I'm pretty sure it was when he was inside the 5.
All right.
though.
I expect him to have more touches. Chase Edmonds did play good.
Yeah, and they were
So-
throwing the ball there. It looked like they were trying to use their new toy,
Yeah,
DeAndre Hopkins, and
Yeah.
Kyler Murray used his legs.
but I expect this to go up against
Kyler
Washington.
Murray burned them with his legs.
Yes,
if he would
he
not have
did.
done those two giant gain run plays, those are what won the game.
Well, kind of that's why I
That
feel
decision making.
I feel like this is going to benefit them in Washington because they have this defensive line that's very
Think back as a
hungry at
Cardinals
sacks.
fan that a year ago they were making the decision between Rosen and Murray.
Yeah, worked out, huh? Yeah, worked out. So I'm saying, though, the Washington Redskins, their line is very fast. Those guys are trying to get sacks.
Yeah, I'm going to be scared of Chase Young.
I feel like that Murray is
He
going to...
did not look like a rookie in that first game.
I feel like he's going to pull them in, and if he does dump-offs to Edmonds or Drake, they're going to be just fine. And I think that his touches are going to go up, and so is his red zone targets.
We got
Kareem Hunt.
Touched
the ball 20 times, 1 in the red zone, in the 5, and
it's
0
good
touchdowns.
To see him getting a lot of touches, but he didn't do a lot with them.
Yeah, even his counterpart didn't, so that really didn't help the Browns.
In a PPR league, he got you points, but in a standard league, that's not much. 20 touches and doing nothing with it. You didn't even get inside the 5. You didn't get a red zone carry. You didn't get a touchdown. Let's talk.
Is it Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones, okay, yeah. I was not expecting
20
that.
touches, 0 inside the 5, and 0 touchdowns inside there. So...
I think that's wrong.
No, inside the 5. He didn't have any touchdowns inside the 5.
Inside the 5, yes.
So, and he didn't even have any... They didn't even get in there, which, I mean, sounds crazy, but they did have a huge game.
Let's talk Eckler.
20
You're an
touches.
Eckler owner, you freaking out?
Not really. Like you had mentioned on earlier,
Tyrod Taylor. I'd be a little worried seeing the rookie behind him.
Tyrod Taylor new on the offense, but he really didn't seem like he was going to throw Eichler the ball in the flats or anything like he was used to getting last week or last year with the screenplay. He wasn't much involved in that.
Well, that's going to do it for that. There's a couple of guys maybe you can aim for the week, maybe trade priorities. Let me ask you, Easy Bros, any of you out there ever thought of creating your own podcast? We personally use Buzzsprout. They've gotten us on every major podcast platform. The team at Buzzsprout is passionate about seeing your project through.
Join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout. Follow the link in the show's notes. Let Buzzsprout know we sent you. Receive a $20 Amazon gift card to help support the show.
Let's talk Thursday night matchup. You ready? Are you ready?
Football, week 2. It's going to start.
Because this little jump in right here is probably more entertaining than the game's going to be.
No, I disagree. I think this game's going to be
a shootout. The Browns scored 9 points.
This game's going to be a shootout, bro. You're going to see a different
Browns
and you're going to see a Bengals.
13?
Hey, I have high hopes. I have high
All right,
hopes.
I got a bet for you. Over or under 25 total points between the two teams. I'm going under.
Over.
All right.
We got that.
You got that.
Also,
on tape.
I think that the Bengals are going to win.
I think the Browns are going to win.
So there you go.
Barely. By like a point. Maybe 3.
The only thing that's bothering him about it is that the Bengals are missing their defensive linemen. They have both their top defensive linemen are out. That's going to free up a lot for the running game, or even, hey, remember that guy?
Maybe a
Baker
little comeback
Mayfield?
game for Nick Chubb.
Baker
Make
Mayfield
up for week 1.
He likes to run the ball too. He likes to be one of those guys that drops back in the pocket. Hey, I don't see anybody. I'm going to take off for 5 yards.
Who's some players we got? Landry. How's Landry looking?
Early mentioned, he was a little bit questionable. I'm kind of worried. Here
I'm a little weary about it.
When guys are questionable and they're a little banged up, I don't see why teams don't kind of sit them out more. I do know that, yeah, they pay them a lot of money, but isn't it better in the long run to have your guy heal up?
Maybe sit him for the game and focus on getting Odell's rhythm on this game.
Because Landry and Mayfield already have rhythm. Yeah. Landry has shown that he's going to
get Austin Hooper involved since Njoku just went down, and you're going to see a lot of him.
Yeah, Hooper's going to definitely benefit that, because if we've seen last week, Njoku was kind of a safety net for Baker Mayfield whenever was in Hunt. So this could be a game where Baker could shine.
But like you said, the Bengals could also win, and Joe Burrow could finally get his first rookie win. You got Joe Mixon, you got AJ Green, Tyler Boyd, I believe John Ross, correct? Is their third wide receiver?
Yeah, and then they got Higgins. I think that Burrow's going to shine out on this one. He's going to show them what's up.
Who's the tight end they have?
Uzma, right?
Yeah, Uzma. He looked pretty decent.
CJ.
I think he caught 5 balls last game.
And I think he's another underrated guy. If you are looking for a tight end in a deep league, 14, 16-team league, put him on your bench. In week 1, Burrows was looking for him. He really was, and he kind of depended on him on a few different bailout plays. So you can see that to increase. He found everybody at LSU, bro. Everybody. He was all over the field. And I just see that happen again in Cincinnati. And really, in week 1, he showed that he was trying to move the ball around. A.J. Green looked, to me, like A.J. Green again. I like the way that he was playing. I think that it's looking up for the Bengals. I know they lost week 1, but it really wasn't their fault. He drove them down the field. They had that game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they did. I think the Browns, this is kind of the prove-it moment. Like I said before, in the beginning of the season, before week 1, Baker Mayfield's got to keep that job. If he can't even produce at least a even record by the end of the season, I don't think he has a starting position next year. I think they start moving on again and try to start over. That's about it for our Thursday night matchup review. We're looking forward to the game. Hope you guys are too. If you got any questions, don't hesitate to ask on any of our platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, our webpage.
We're always available.
Let's talk the matchups. We're not going to get into the weekly matchups. We'll be getting into those the next 2 days, but let's talk about just who we think are going to win this week's matchups. Let's start out with New York and Chicago. Who do you got winning this one? I got New York.
I went with... I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. New York, Chicago.
Well, who do you think?
I'm going with the Bears.
You're going with the Bears.
I am. So
you think defense is going to win out?
I think defense.
There's not a whole lot of offense there.
In Chicago?
In Chicago. Yeah,
I
said it.
I think we're trying.
They have one good game, and you're going to go. Oh,
I think they're trying. I'm just
like
saying.
Patrick Mahomes don't step out the tunnel.
I'm just saying. They got a good matchup against the Giants defense. I know that they're fast. This defense is fast, but I like the matchup. Maybe Trubisky. This is the time that he kind of turns it around. Sometimes it takes guys a little bit.
All right, Atlanta, Dallas. Who you got? I got Dallas.
I'm going.
Or no, I believe I picked Atlanta.
You did. I
picked Atlanta.
I'm going Dallas. I think that Dallas's offensive line can handle this defense, and I see them rebounding from that week 1 loss.
Detroit, Green Bay.
Ooh, we're going to both go with the Packers on this one.
Yeah, I'm going Packers on that one. There's pretty much no denying what Green Bay did last week. They're going to do possibly even worse because I believe the Vikings are better than the Lions. Yeah, so if they did that to the Vikings, probably going to do it to the Lions.
And this hurts my heart, man. I love Matt Stafford.
Jacksonville, Tennessee. I got Tennessee.
I'm going to go Tennessee. I really like the way that Jacksonville played last week, but I just don't see them keeping that up against these Titans.
Minnesota, Indiana. I'm going to let you pick that one first.
I'm sorry, man. I think that the Vikings are going to come.
I think everybody knows what I'm picking.
I think the Vikings are coming to town and they're going to win.
Baby.
I really do. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see
ride
what
that
happens.
Colt to a championship ring.
I hope they do win because I don't want to see you walking around here like a sourpuss.
Buffalo and Miami. Oh, well, I've got Buffalo.
Yeah, we know I'm not going to steer away from my team, so Miami's going to take this, but, that's going to be a hard Miami there. Yeah, so.
San Francisco Jets.
Do we have to talk about it?
Nope. San Francisco. Los Angeles Rams, Philadelphia.
That was quick, huh? I was going to say those Jets Jets are taking that loss,
sorry.
bro.
You wanted to...
They're taking that loss. I just wanted to rub it in.
You wanted to waste people's time? Here we go.
I would never like to root for an NFC West team, but hey, if you're going to play anybody in my division, you better beat them. Rams, Eagles, who you got? We both got the Rams, right?
I got the Rams, that's for sure. I'm not big on the Eagles this year, and their offensive line is tore up right now. If Washington can beat them, the Rams just beat the Cowboys, so I think the Rams can beat Philadelphia. Denver, Pittsburgh. I got Pittsburgh.
Oh, man, I think...
Pity.
I like to see Denver win this game, man. I have
You'd like
more
to
faith.
See it, but you don't know.
I have more faith in their defense
happen, right?
I have more faith in their defense after I've seen week 1. And honestly, Big Ben, when he was getting hit, he didn't really seem to like it. I know quarterbacks don't, but he was getting up limping. if he gets hit a few times in this game,
maybe he's just a little sore. He hadn't been hitting here.
that's what I'm saying though. But these guys, I feel like Denver's going to hit him a lot more than he got hit last week.
Carolina, Tampa Bay.
I'm going to say the Bucs are going to win this. Tom Brady's not winning
I'm going
losing
Tampa
2
Brady.
games.
Tampa Brady.
We have it all day. Cards versus the Washington football team. I almost messed that up. We're both going Cardinals.
Cardinals.
No,
Easy.
Yeah. Chiefs versus Chargers. That's divisional rivalry.
Easy.
Chiefs are going to take it.
Baltimore,
we have Baltimore, Houston. Ooh. That's going to be so hard to have to choose the Ravens. I'm just kidding.
I'm going to have to choose them too.
How
New
about-
England, Seattle.
Come on, Seahawks. Do it for me.
You
Need to have revenge for the time. We don't even talk about it.
I'm excited because I feel like you're going to see exactly what Cam Newton is in this game. He's going to have to throw the ball. He's going to also have to run the ball. I think you're going to see what you got with him if you drafted him or if you traded for him like I did. It's going to be fun. Last matchup, Monday night matchup, Saints, Vegas, Raiders.
I'm going to go with the Raiders.
Okay.
Good
That's
old
how
Chucky.
I feel like, sometimes. Yeah, no. I'm going to go with the Saints.
Yeah. Carr's going to turn
Even
it
without
on.
Even without Thomas.
Carr's going to turn it on, and they're going to burn the rug.
All
All the way down to Jacobs.
Well, I like that we basically did not agree on any of these. This is going to be a fun week.
It is. We had a few, but I think that was because we knew that those teams, that's not argue. You can't argue with the Cards versus the football team. You can't. I'm sorry. You can't argue with the Chiefs and the Chargers. You can't argue with the Ravens and the Texans. So,
Well,
oh man,
that's going to do it for us today, Easy Bros. If you would like to join the Easy Bros community, you can catch us at www.patreon.com/easybros. Become a part of the community. It starts as low as $3. We would appreciate it. We're still working on it. We're getting up there. There's going to be more options. The further along, exclusive content,
merchandise. Become a patron today, and hey, be an Easy Bro for life.
Make it the easy way.
Yeah, Easy Championships come.
Come check us tomorrow for our next episode. We're going to be going over the weekly matchups. First half of them, maybe talk some interesting stuff. See who we can tell you
Your
to
sits.
start. You got any questions? Like we said before, hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any platform.
The Easy Bros are on it.
We're going to get back to you.
We're here to make your fantasy championship easy. Thank you for listening.
Keep it easy.
Thanks for joining the Easy Bros of the Easy Bros Fantasy Football Podcast. Don't forget to join us for our next episode. Like, subscribe, and check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and also our website, EasyPod Bros at EasyBrosFantasyFootball.com.